What's going on, everybody? It's your man, Lyndon Britt from SuccessWithLyndon.com, also the founder of Home Run Marketing, where we cover all bases of your business. And I believe I may have been having some connection problems there, so we're going to start this thing all over. So while Facebook is actually building my audience, if you happen to be watching a recording of this, thank you for tuning in, first off. And just let me know where you're viewing from. But for all the viewers that are hopping in here, let me know where you're viewing from. I myself am here from Dallas, Texas. Matter of fact, let me just test this out. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. That's all I want to do. Start that off first. All right, so you can hear me. Great. I was having some problems a minute ago, so I don't think anybody could have heard me. But we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and hop into the content because you know it's Tipsy 2 with Lyndon. I'm already past that, so we're gonna jump right into things. But if you happen to be watching the recording, thank you once again. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And if it's your first time, once again, I want to introduce myself. My name is Lyndon Britt from SuccessWithLyndon.com, and I'm the CEO and founder of Home Run Marketing, where we cover all bases of your business. Yes, I'm a baseball lover, but we're going to hop right into the content, the power of practice. So let me ask you all a question. How many of y'all remember that interview several years ago from an NBA basketball player called Allen Iverson? He was having a press conference right after a very important game that the Sixers had lost, and one of the reporters asked him about why he wasn't at practice. And at this time, this when Allen Iverson was kind of had his whole entourage and all that kind of thing. He was kind of building, the ego was kind of growing and all that kind of stuff. So that was the turn of that interview when he began to speak. And he said, man, we just lost this. We just lost by this and so. We just lost. And you talking about practice? So if you all saw the video, that the introduction to this live, you got to see somewhat of a little spoof that I did that pertained to business, pertaining to practicing. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you all a question, and I really want you to think about this. How many of y'all will step out if you're a professional of any kind? It's number one, it's very tedious to practice. Who feels that practicing is necessary? By show of hands, whether it's a thumb up, a smile, or anything else, who feels that it's necessary to practice? Okay. Me for one, I feel it's necessary to practice. So, but I don't have any thumbs up that I can actually share. So, but if you feel it's necessary, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Okay, number two, if you feel that you get tired of it, it's very tedious for you to practice. You get tired of it. You just don't feel like practicing anything. I don't care what it may be. See, a lot of times when we grow up, you think of, when I say practice, a lot of people associate that with sports. What's going on, Miss Lisa? Good to see you. They associate practice with sports. It's a lot practicing a whole lot of other things. I don't care if you're a professional crocheter. I don't care if you a spelling bee, a national champion. I don't care if you're a little kid that's learning his ABCs all the way up to an athlete. But it gets very tedious when you're doing it. When you first begin to learn how to do your ABCs or your addition or your multiplication, you start off with your fingers. You always have to practice. 1 + 2 is 1, 2, 3. Or when you got the take away 1, take away, you're practicing. When you're a spelling bee, you got to learn all kind of different words. And when you're talking about different origins of language and stuff like that, you really got to learn how words are actually formed when it comes to being a spelling bee champion, anything. Because if it comes from an origin of Europe rather than America, it's going to be spelled totally different than what it sounds like. Okay, Ms. Lisa said, I'm a nurse. We practice basic skills like IV starts and CPR and advanced life support skill codes constantly. You have to. I was a lifeguard and a swim instructor several years, and we always practice CPR. We always practice rescues. You had to stay. It was mandatory that you stayed up on your skills to be able to react in the case of an emergency. With nurses, you all have to deal with people's lives, putting medicine, entering IVs and all that kind of stuff, PICC lines and all that kind of stuff. Trust me, I know. I worked at a hospital for several years, and I saw that they had to keep up with practice. It's very important that you practice, but how many people get tired of it? A lot of people feel when they've gotten to the point they practice so much, I know this already, it's not necessary to practice. That's where the mentality comes in, where you begin to see a little decline even in your business. Now, let me ask you a question. How many of y'all will walk out on a professional stage of any sort? I don't care if it's a basketball court, a football field, a baseball diamond, you walk up to the microphone as a spelling bee champion, or even if you if you decided you're going to be a nurse and you decide to walk into the hospital and put in an application, how many of y'all will walk in there and never have studied or never have practiced once and feel you're going to perform at your peak? You feel you're going to be at your peak performance and you never practice. Do you think a professional sprinter Usain Bolt or anybody else for that matter will walk out to get ready to run the 400 without stretching, without getting out there and do a few starts off the block. You think a hurdler is going to go without jumping over a few hurdles to make sure they're not stiff, their muscles are completely loose? No, they have to practice. So why is it that a lot of people feel it's the same thing in their business? I know this business, I don't need to practice. The power of practice. All right, so now is where we're going to turn it in. I'm going to switch this into business. A lot of people feel it's not necessary to, because it's nothing really physical when it comes to your business. So you feel, I don't see the necessity in me practicing anything. Let me ask you a question. That phrase they always say, practice makes perfect, is somewhat true. Practice makes perfect, but when you begin perform those actions that you practice in, that makes perfect. That's for sure. If you understood that, hopefully you did. We'll see. But practice does make perfect when you begin to apply the things that you learn in practice. Okay. So how many of y'all know, or how many of y'all have ever experienced prospecting someone? How many of y'all feel, if you prospected somebody in business, give me some thumbs up, give me some smiles. If you've ever prospected anybody in your business, I don't care from what kind, whether it be through email, whether it be a phone call, whether it be a handshake, whatever it is, give me a few thumbs up, a few smiles, a few hearts, whatever. If you've ever prospected somebody. Now, if you have, if this is you, let me ask you a question. If you never approached anyone about your business opportunity before, do you think you could walk up to a complete stranger and word what you need to word correctly in order to grasp their attention? See, yesterday I did a live over the 30-second pitch. You got about 30 seconds to keep the attention. You got about 30 seconds to get to the point when you're approaching a new prospect about your business opportunity, or you've lost them. How many of y'all, if you never practiced that pitch, think you can perfect that the first time walking up to somebody? Not very many could. Hopefully I've got you thinking. I've got your wheels turning right now. I want you to understand that no matter what it is that you're doing, you got to be able to practice your approach. Especially in your business, you've got to be able to practice your approach. If you're trying to master how to market your business on social media, there are going to be several. How many ways do you think you're going to post something and immediately see success? No, it doesn't happen like that. What happens is you try something once and you may get a result and you think you've got it figured out until you realize, okay, this isn't the only thing that I need to be doing. I put out a post, or I put out a comment, or I put out this, and I've got a couple of responses. And I'm just going to keep doing this. And guess what? What happens when those same people get tired of saying the same thing and all of a sudden you're not getting a response? You've got to learn a new technique. And if you learn a new strategy or a new technique to be able to market your business opportunity, guess what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to practice to figure out what works. You're not going to make the first video. I can tell you right now, if you go back to my blog at successwithlendon.com and look at the very first blog I did, video blog, the video that I put out is totally different than the videos that I put out now. I had to begin to practice. Go look at famous people, Ray Higdon. Go look at his first one. Practice. You get better over time with practice. It's not perfected the first time you do it, but it's necessary. That's exactly why you practice, even in your business. I want you to think about what it would be like if you were at the front line of your company and all of a sudden the big kahuna, the CEO walked up and say, man, I appreciate it. I'm glad what you're doing with the company. I'm loving how you're growing the business, how you're really helping change a lot of people's lives. I want you to go on stage and give the presentation for me tonight. Whoa, wait a minute. You said, hold on. Okay, I can understand if you said give me next month or at the next big event a couple of months down the line, and we're like, yeah, we've got somebody that we had lined up to come up, but his wife got sick, he wasn't able to make it, plane didn't land, whatever, so and so. But I know I can depend on you to get on that stage and present this thing and grasp the attention of everybody in that audience. You gonna do that for me? You sitting there like, yeah. How will you respond? You've always got to be ready to be that person being called upon. And practice, the power of practice will prepare you for that opportunity. So what if that happened to you? What if you went to see, a lot of people still have weekly meetings. A lot of people still have events that they go to. What happened if you happen to go to that event and a lot of times you engage with a lot of people that are at the top and you're communicating with them, and all of a sudden something happens, you be like, hey man, I need you. Can you be the person to step up and do this? Look at Les Brown. A lot of people are familiar with Les Brown. He used to work cleaning up a radio station. He was the janitor at a radio station. You can look this up yourself. What happened one day, the radio host, the DJ didn't show up for work. And the DJ artist and the CEO of the company called in, and Les answered the phone. I call him Les, forgive me, I don't know him personally. Mr. Brown answered the phone, and he was like, hey, I need you to, I forgot what he said he told him to do. He needed him to call somebody else to come in. That's what he needed, to get in touch with somebody else to come in and DJ the show for the night. And he was telling me, he said, I can do it. He said, no, I need someone that knows what they're doing. And he was like, you know what, I can do it. And he wouldn't give Les Brown the chance. So Les Brown finally told him, he was like, all right, I'll get someone on him. He hung up the phone with the CEO of the radio show or the radio station or whatever. And he said, you know what, I'm got to do this. This is my chance. And guess what? He stepped up and he hosted the show and turned it on. And he turned into one of the most famous DJs of his time for that radio show. Look it up for yourself. Les Brown used to be a DJ radio host. And he went through his whole spiel, and he spoke on this as one of his speeches. Now, had he not ever practiced what he said, what he was going to do when he got on that radio station, do you think he would have been prepared? No, he would have been calling somebody else to come in and DJ that show. Especially if you're live. You're live on the radio. He didn't have the opportunity to mess up, because had he messed up, that was his job, his career, and anything else. He probably wouldn't have been able to get on any other radio station, anything else. Practice. You got to learn. Practice your presentation. Okay. So a lot of people say, okay, so now you talk about practice. You've got my attention. Okay. I understand. I need to practice. What do I need to practice? And a lot of people look for those definite how-tos and what to and stuff like that. I'm going to give you a couple of things you need to practice. And the next thing you need to do is evaluate what it is your business does. And you're going to do that. You're going to apply this to whatever you do. Your presentation. A lot of people say, I don't like standing before a crowd. So what? I don't care. Get over it. The reason I say that, because if you're that person that's called upon, you never know when you're going to be called upon. Practice your presentation. Every time, at some point, even when you come into this business, they say you do three-way calls. At some point, you've got to learn how to let go. When you holding on to your upline's hand, eventually, guess what? That upline has to let go. He's growing an organization just like you are. He's not going to have time to baby. He or she is not going to have time to baby you through your entire business. You're going to have to grow up and learn how to walk on your own. So guess what? You're going to have to learn how to do how to present your opportunity. You're going to learn. They're not going to do the prospecting. So you're going to have to learn how to prospect people. Learn how to approach people online, on the phone, on the emails, in person. You got to practice your approach. You got to practice different approaches. A couple of things you got to find out: what really gets people fired up, what really gets people going. If you talk to somebody who made $10,000 a month, telling them about how to make $10,000 a month doesn't appeal to them. But what if you talk to that person that made $10,000 a month and tell them, hey, you have time to be able to spend with your family? Now you've gotten their attention, because all their time is directed to their business, to making that $10,000. They want to know how they can get free, how they can get time free and still make the same amount of money. So you find out what triggers or what triggers people have to be able to find out how you can serve them, but you got to practice that. If you got to practice how to be able to follow up with people, perhaps, and this was one I spoke of in a live a long time ago, about how to continue growing your business, how to follow up. What if you had someone actually bought something for you? You got to learn how to practice how to follow up. If someone bought something from you, a lot of times people sell something to you and be like, how many times have somebody sold something to you and you never heard from them again? What would happen if you sold something to someone, your product or your service, and you didn't wait for an auto ship to come on next month? What if you told them, hey, I'm going to follow up with you in a couple of weeks. I want to know how this is working for you. So in a couple of weeks, you give them a call. Hey, you got this on, you got your product. Have you began doing this? Have you began doing that? Like, yeah. So how are you liking it so far? And you begin to get results from those people that actually bought from you. Number one, it shows a genuine interest that you care about your product. You care about the person that purchased your product. Number one, you care about them getting results. And guess what that does? That keeps them on that auto ship if they got it. You know what? This person cares about it. And what if he finds out about a new product? Hey, I found out about a new product that may help and that may work even better than the one you took before. Guess what? Now you've grown a genuine interest with that person through your business. You've grown a relationship with that person. You've grown a trust factor with that person. So now when it comes to anything else that you do, If you mention it, they believe in you enough to say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to go ahead and buy it. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and join you because I see that you have a passion for this, and I see how it's creating income. I want to find out how I can do just what you're doing. That takes practice. How do I follow up with a person to keep that person purchasing from me? How do I follow up with a person to keep that relationship going? That way, if they have anything, they come to me and not go somewhere else. How many of you, okay, if you don't believe me, think about this. How many of you all know several people, know personally several people in the same company that you can make a purchase of a product from? I'll give you an example. I know 6 people that I can think of off the top of my head in this, I'm not calling any names in this, in a health and wellness supplement in one company. I know 6 different people. 6 different people in the same company, and no, they don't know each other. I can go buy this product from either one of those 6 people. So why would I come back to one particular person? It's the relationship that person may build. They may check up on me and be like, hey, how'd that product work? Do you like it? Do you have any side effects from it that you don't like? You kind of have that relationship. You kind of have that relationship where people actually trust. When you build that, they be like, you know what? Yeah, I know 6 people that sell it, but I'm coming back to you because you're the person that makes sure that I like it. You make sure that I'm satisfied. It takes practice to learn how to do that, especially when you have an organization of several people that are buying from you. A lot of people that buy from you won't even know, but you may have their contact information if they bought from you. So why not send them a thank you gift? Practice. It's not going to hurt you if you made $100, if someone made $100 purchase and you end up getting a $50 or $70 commission, and you send them a bonus $5 or $10 gift just to say thank you, maybe every now and then, even for Christmas. Practice. Practice your actions. See, a lot of people think it's only practice what you say. You're practicing in your actions as well. You're showing people that I want to be the person that you come back to. The power of practice can grow your business exponentially. Exponentially. Okay? So, that's the tip for today. Hope you all got some great value from that. I hope you really got some great value from that. Take the time to figure out, what do I need to practice on in my business, and begin implementing today. If you got value from this live, there's a share button down there that a lot of people need to hear this message, because a lot of people aren't practicing. They aren't practicing to grow their business. They're just doing. I hope you enjoyed this thing. Give me some likes, some comments, some shares. Let me know, did anyone have any questions? If you got any questions, post your questions in the comments. I'm about to end the live, but I promise I'll come back and I respond to them personally. I don't have a personal assistant that respond to all of my messages, so you will hear directly from me. If you enjoyed this live, you can find you can find many more over at the fan page at facebook.com/Lyndon Britt 2, and several other marketing tips and tools over at successwithlyndon.com. Also, you can follow the blog. We got a blog that goes along with the videos and stuff like that, that goes a little bit more in depth with some of the content. All right, so y'all have a blessed and wonderful day. I appreciate you all hopping in here. If you're looking for different ways of how you need to practice, how you need to expand and grow your business, make sure you reach out to me. At successwithlyndon.com, there's a little section on the right-hand side where you can actually ask the question. So you can put it in the comments, you can inbox me, or you can head over there and check out the page and ask the question right over there. All right. If you hadn't gotten, if you're not on my newsletter, make sure that you can hop over at the newsletter as well over at successwithlyndon.com. There's a pop-up that comes up. Add your information in and be glad to get some more tips and information. The newsletter is more focused on mindset. Okay, getting your mind developed to be the entrepreneur that you really want to become. So if you're not on that newsletter yet, head over to successwithlyndon.com, add yourself on. All right, but thank you all so much for attending the live. I hope you really got some value. I hope you already know what the next step is that you want to take as you begin your practicing. All right, so y'all have a blessed and wonderful day. See y'all tomorrow for Tips at 2.